with me if you want to live. You just don't turn it off.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason. Welcome to Backtrack Cinema, and today we're going to be talking about our favorite Arnold films with my special guest, Aaron Robinson, actor from the Terminator fan film and Batman, I believe, isn't it, Aaron?
Yeah, both of those. That's right.
Yeah. So I highly recommend that you guys check those fan films out. I'll put a link to their YouTube channel, the Taipan films, I believe.
Taipan. It's a type of snake. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Taipan, yeah. Deadliest snake in the world.
Okay. Excellent. So, first I'd like to talk to you, Aaron, about, I reviewed your guys' movie, Terminator No Fate, a while back, and just let the audience know what, I don't know, just what went involved in that. And I thought it was a great little short film for Terminator, and definitely looked like you guys really wanted to build off something there. So why don't you just tell everyone about it?
So I'm a massive lifelong Terminator fan, firstly, but Karen Williams, the director, we got linked up with a mutual friend, and then he saw a picture of me where I was just pretending to be like in a kind of like Terminator pose with a fake gun and stuff, and he was like, "Hey, do you look like that right now?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Do you like Terminator?" And I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Well, we're doing a fan film," and so before we knew it, they hired out this, like kind of a building complex for a couple of nights that we could work in, shoestring budget, all crazy Australian crew that were ready to work 24-hour stretches. And then we did the whole film in like 3 days. Excuse me. And then, it's basically what Terminator, for Terminator, it's like what Rogue One is to Star Wars. This kind of film is to Terminator. It's a little bit of extra story that's not told in the original saga, kind of adds to the original saga, really drawing from the first two films. And we just did it because we wanted to do it, and didn't realize it was going to get some awesome traction online. And it's been pretty crazy ever since. I've signed lots of posters and stuff for people around the world, met awesome people like yourself, and I think we've really bonded with other people that really love action movies and Terminator like we do from it. So in that respect, it's a big success.
Yeah, I was really impressed, really, even with the action and everything. You don't usually see it run so smooth like that. And I really liked how that you guys did the Terminator where it was logical. Like there's that one scene I love where when you kill the girl and you're just driving her with your fist, you're just punching her, right? And I go, yeah, a Terminator wouldn't throw you and keep throwing you and throw you and throw you. He would kill you. He would just grab you.
He'd squash you.
Right? And so it was good. I highly recommend everyone checking it out. And I think Terminator franchise, it has so much untapped potential still.
100%.
I mean, we don't even need to stay with the Connors. We could do so much in the future. I know they tried with Salvation, which I actually kind of dig that movie. But
I love Salvation. I really, really like that film.
Yeah, but I think we need to go in the future with that franchise and bring it scary again.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so let's segue into some Arnold Schwarzenegger films. We both picked 5 movies. I didn't want to repeat ourselves too much, so not really a ranking, buddy. Just we're gonna talk our love of these films. So, what's your first Arnold movie you picked?
Terminator 2. So
excellent.
T2 is in my top 5 of all time. I've got. I'll show you how much Terminator 2 means to me with one arm grab. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. I've got T2 stuff everywhere. This is my studio I'm in now. But that movie for me is like, I didn't have the closest relationship with my dad and growing up, and just that whole, surrogate father, this indestructible guy coming to protect this kid. Like when I was a little kid, like I got goosebumps talking about it. Like that really, really spoke to me. And I saw T1 and, I loved it as a horror movie and it was cool. But to see him get flipped on his head and become the good guy and the special effects at the time were so groundbreaking, like I remember being in the movies and just that pop every time the T-1000 would morph. Yeah. I was like, holy shit, like what is, his head's doing this and his arms are turning into this and he's the morphing was just like cutting edge technology at the time. So yeah, I watched it 5 times in the cinemas, and I reckon I've watched it at least 30 times in my own, in my own space. So
yeah. I don't remember seeing this one in the theater, but I remember
Really?
watching. Yeah, I remember watching a
Yeah.
lot on VHS. So my dad and I would watch. I was like 12 when it come out. So
Yeah,
we
wow.
we were just like, yeah, look at these effects. We just
Yeah.
couldn't believe it. I am a bigger fan of the first one, which we'll talk later about, but just because of the atmosphere and the horror aspect and just the original story and everything. But this one plays into those fatherhood themes, and as a great reviewer I follow, Brian Lomax, he always tells me, it's fate versus free will, and so it's so true with those themes, and the emotional ending too, man. Like the action set aside and everything, the thumbs up and everything is just incredible, man. It's just and it never slows down. It's just like
No.
when they get all their guns and shit, and it's where it's slows down a little, but that's all character building. And personally, my favorite character is Sarah Connor in it.
Yeah.
This is still very much her story, and how much she's detached from John and has become almost like a Terminator. Like just the mission for her, and not realizing like, no, it's the love for your son. This is what everything spawns off of. And when she learns that or realizes what she's done, it just, oh man, great movie.
Yeah. I've got Sarah Connor Chronicles. See in the background there. I've got a frame poster. It's got Summer Gal signed the DVDs for me, so I've got that framed in the background. That's a great little side section of Terminator 2. If you've ever, I don't know if you watched that series.
I've watched season 1. I loved it.
Yeah,
I love season 1. I got to watch season 2 still. There's a lot of things I really liked about it. The one that's impressed me of late was the anime, the Terminator 0.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Fantastic. It was that's where they got to take a movie, something
100%
on those lines, because it was very Terminator like it was just, it really kept the DNA intact and everything. But all right, my first pick is going to be Kindergarten Cop with I think this is just a really heartwarming story. When
amazing movie.
Yeah, that ending when he comes back to the class and realizes this is what I'm supposed to be doing, is teaching these kids, protecting these kids in a lot of the ways. A great score along with it. Ivan Reitman's direction and everything like that. It's just love this character, because how he changes from this tough brawn kind of guy, and these kids just soften him up a lot. And yeah, it's just a great little action comedy, like blending them both really together really well. So
yeah, I love it's almost like at the start too, it's almost like 2 films in one, because you see this Detective John Kimball character, he's got the shotgun, he's raiding this place, he's looking for Cindy, and like you kind of get this, this could be a whole movie in itself. This is his character of, this persona cop character. And then it goes, and honestly, I think it's some of the best range acting Arnold ever did in his career, because he goes from his very typical tough guy stuff to, like you said, being broken by the kids into being, his true self, and his heart comes out. And it's something. I've watched it with my kids. I went and watched it with my mum in the movies. Like, it's a timeless movie that never gets old.
Yeah, it really is. It really is good. Packs a good emotional punch, and definitely one of the better characters of our acting anyway, performance wise. I love this little movie. I think it's great, man.
Yeah, it's a shame they only made one of them too. Which, like a lot of good Arnold movies, there's only one. But I guess leaves you wanting more.
Unfortunately, yeah. All right, your next Arnold movie.
Okay, Predator.
Oh God, favorite, love it.
So good.
Oh man, I don't know what to. Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts on it, because people have heard mine before. So
okay, so Predator. I was terrified of Predator when I was a kid, because I saw the preview for it, and it had the guy, the summer guy, back in the 80s, and I used to see, stuff for it at the video shops and stuff like that. And I was really scared to watch it because it looks so intense. And it's one of the movies where you see Arnold, that kind of, he turns around and you see him scared in the face. You're like, what could make this guy scared? But and so I remember the first time I watched it, I was really like tense, but then it was this action like sci-fi roller coaster. And it's like all the guys, all the soldiers remind me of G.I. Joes. If there was a really good G.I. Joe movie made, this is the way to do it. Like Blaine is almost with the miniguns, almost like Sergeant Slaughter, and even though he was Jesse Ventura, but the other guys, Dylan is a lot like some of the guys in G.I. Joe as well. So is like Puncho. Like it's really like if G.I. Joe guys like Max like Roadblock, like it's so parallel to that. And I love G.I. Joe as well. But when they take out that first group of like guys in the woods, in the jungle, you kind of get this aspect of who they are, this really tight unit. They've all got specialities with their weapons and stuff. But then one by one, they're getting picked off by this predator who you're slowly revealed bit by bit, his weapons, what he can do, just how like stealth and deadly he is. And it's a 10 out of 10 movie to me. Like it's just the colorful characters, the larger than life soldiers, the humor as well, but the sci-fi mixed with the gritty reality is just, it's perfection. It's perfection on the stick to me.
Yeah. Like I remember when we first watched this, I was kid, man. Like I was like freaking 8 years old. My dad rented this. So obviously I didn't see this in the theater, but he rented it. But it's the only movie I've seen my dad rent back in the day every weekend. Every weekend we went back, he rented it. He would show his friend, then my grandfather would come up, he'd show him. It was just, I would go out with my toy guns, shooting predators on the fucking tree and shit like that. I was like, I'm still obsessed with this movie. Like this movie, to me, is the perfect hybrid of genre clashing or genre splicing.
100%.
And what I like is that it goes from an over-the-top 80s action with all the one-liners. Guys are jacked as shit. They're the pussy jokes, all this shit is great. Then there's that moment in the movie where Blaine gets killed. Once Blaine, they gun down the forest. Then Poncho comes back and says, "We hit nothing." And Arnold slowly comes up. The music rises, and he goes, "You better get on a radio." And he's like, "Mac, Sergeant, look at me." It's like shit. Now we've turning to a slasher movie.
Yeah,
we turn into a slasher movie with all those similar tropes that we've seen. And a popcorn movie at the same time. And then the third act is a survival, primal, with suspense, tension. That's what I mean. It has everything. There's very few movies I could say that have everything in it. And this has everything in it. The only thing it was missing was fucking Stallone. Could you have seen that?
Oh my God. It would have been perfect. I mean, look, it's already a perfect movie, but if they had some kind of, like Stallone or other kind of, Van Damme was in it for a little bit as the Predator when it was all mosquitoed up. Big shout out to Stan Winston who, corrected the design because it's still one of the most iconic designs for any character ever in the world.
I have my little Predator in the back there.
Yeah, I've got one in my case over there too. But and like unfortunately, Arnie's never returned to the franchise, which sucks. I didn't realize in the Aliens vs Predator game. I don't know if you ever played that in the arcade. There's an Alien vs. Oh, it's so good. Go and dig it up. But the character in the game is Dutch, so so you see a bit more of his story, and I believe in some other video games. Dutch's story has been carried forward, but it's just such a perfect movie.
Well, Predator 2 was supposed to be Arnold and Danny Glover.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Right? But he had a commitment to T2. So I would have loved it. I'm glad we got T2, but to see him and Danny Glover in a Predator sequel, I just think would have been, man, it's too bad he was so busy at that. Like he had so many commitments, Arnold, right? But and
I really like Predator 2 as well. Like I really like that.
Me too.
It expanded on it really well.
Yeah, I think so too. And but yeah, this it's just a perfect movie, and the design of the Predator is my favorite of anything. Even as much, I think the Xenomorph and Aliens may be a better design, but the Predator's my favorite design.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
definitely. The Predator, just even this how you kind of see him with the mask on, and look. I'll say this is nothing like the first time you watch Predator
Yeah.
because you don't know what's going to happen, and it's a slow reveal. Even when he takes his mask off, you're used to looking at this kind of sleek mask, and you kind of just accept that that's what he is, and then he takes it off, and he's got the mandibles and
Yeah.
everything. It's
And
just
he's sweating. He's sweating. There's a very organic look to it
yeah,
all where I
yeah.
don't think they've captured again. Like
No, no.
they're losing that how organic he is, and the sweat on him, and I don't know, just the way his teeth are moving and all that stuff. Yeah, it was pretty incredible watching. I wish I could watch it for the first time again.
Oh, a little fun fact about the Predator is the reason why it looks different in later movies is they changed the jaw part because of copyright, because the original person that had the kind of the
Oh,
design thing, yeah, that's why they've changed. He kind of looks different as time goes by.
oh
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
yes,
yeah.
they changed the jaw area, like around here.
He looked really good in Predators, the classic Predator,
Yeah,
which was played.
when he was up on the tree, up on
Yeah,
the.
which was played by Derek Mears, who was the Jason Voorhees in the Friday the 13th
Oh,
movie.
wow,
Yeah, he
wow!
was.
I didn't know
He's
that.
also he's also oh crap, he's Swamp Thing, and then the
Yeah,
latest
yeah.
Swamp Thing show too. But
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
he played the classic Predator, and I thought he looked really good.
Yeah,
He really I thought they did a good job on his design and everything like that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
It looks great.
incredible movie, the original though, for
Oh,
sure.
10 out
And
of 10.
you know what? I don't want to forget that awesome score.
Oh,
I think the score like if you take the score out, I bet you that movie's pacing, it doesn't feel like it does. It kind of
it
it speeds it up. That dun 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 dun, and the way he's cutting them, the way they're moving along through the woods and everything, and all that, or the forest, the jungle and stuff like that. Is incredible score, incredible by
oh,
Alan Silvestri. Did an incredible job.
but as well, even the tribal drums, when you hear them
Yep.
kind of beating, and really gives that heat and intensity to the jungle. But I mean, it's one of the things that's really missing from movies at the moment. Besides, kind of some of the superhero movies, like maybe the Avengers or something, we don't hear these crazy scores anymore. I mean, you could hear, the Predator music, RoboCop, Terminator, Indiana
Yep.
Jones, Star Wars, Superman, and you would instantly feel the emotions from those movies. I really hope that movies kind of going forward come back to that in some way, because it's such a visceral and important part of the experience.
Yeah, it's an identity. Yeah, they have their own identity. All these things. For sure.
100%.
Speaking of scores, my next one is
Yeah.
Conan the Barbarian.
Oh
just,
yeah,
just the way that movie starts, man, with the monologue and everything. I will tell you of Conan, and the dun 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 dun, and they're making their freaking sword, and then the father's telling the story, and it's just like, Crom is your god, son. You can't trust anybody, not women,
yeah,
not beasts. This you can trust. It's like it's incredible. It's an incredible revenge tale, but it's also the journey. It's all about the journey with that movie and the
yeah,
experience with him of getting his revenge, him learning how to be this warrior and stuff like that. Very, very raw and very like this is like his first movie pretty much. I know he's some other things in that, but he did all his own stunts because they couldn't find a stuntman who looked like him because
look like him, yeah,
so he's so fucking jacked, and he was so symmetrical. He's like the Mr. Body, Mr. Champion, right? Mr. Olympus.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, but I like how the score, where it's just giving you the scene, the battles, and the score is just telling everything. The score is really, there's not much dialogue, right? It's like a play going on, and it's incredible. And it's cast well. The violence is vicious. It's a little dated now, like the
yeah,
whole
yeah.
snake scene and everything. But it's too bad we didn't get like King Conan. You know what I mean? Where he, like, the original idea was, the original trilogy was like the sword trilogy. Like the first one was going to be about the riddle of steel, and the second one was going to be about the wielding of the sword, and the third
Mm,
one was supposed to be the consequences of the sword. So it's
yeah,
supposed
yeah.
to, we never really got that
Full
fleshed out
arc.
trilogy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
love it though. There's so many great things in Conan.
Yeah, with Conan, I feel like the world building made it this really scary, unrelenting kind of awful place that, this universe that they're in. But when you see Conan running around taking care of business, you feel like he can handle that world. And that's what adds to his journey is, you kind of seeing him learn and evolve into this dude. There is that revenge driving everything, but you feel like Arnold, especially, he's so big, he's so symmetrical, he's so, just imposing. You feel like he can deal with this awful world that he's in. If there's anyone there that's going to be able to, handle business in that place, it's him.
Yeah, and when he's like swinging that sword around, you could tell that fucking thing's heavy. The way he's like he's doing that. Yeah, you could tell that. I mean,
it wasn't a prop sword, not at all.
No, that's not that thing was heavy. You could I think he said that too. Like it was heavy. He cut himself a few times, and like it's one of the few movies you'll see your lead actor doing every stunt. Crazy. But what's your next movie?
My next one is The Running Man.
This one I'm not as familiar with. It's going to be on. By the time people see this video, I might have reviewed that already. But I'm going to definitely rewatch this one. But I don't remember a whole lot of it. That's why.
That's all right. So The Running Man was this original story is by Stephen King that he did under a pen name, believe it or not. So that's what makes it even crazier. Is you're like, okay, Stephen King made up this dystopian future story. He didn't think it was going to go with his horror stuff, so he put it on a pen name. He turned it into a movie. He's not a fan of the movie because the character that Arnold portrays was supposed to be this skinny little malnutrition dude, and obviously Arnold doesn't look anything like that. I remember I watched this with my cousin Johnny, who like me and him are the action hero and action movie brothers for life. He's my cousin Jonathan, and we watched it at his place. I don't think we were supposed to watch it. We probably stole the VHS from his dad and then waited till everyone was asleep and watched it. But the movie itself, if you rewatch it now, some of the action isn't that great, but the characters and the one-liners are so good. The bad guys are all these big, larger than life. There's no Sub-Zero, only Plain Zero. There's Dynamo, and hey, Christmas tree. Like there are some really funny one-liners, and there's good story there, and there's good world building there, and it's I don't think the action itself, when you really break down the fights, is that fantastic, but the story and the characters, I think, really do still hold up, and it's very cool to me. And it's almost like you see I remember watching it as a kid and thinking, oh, there's no way they'll be able to do any of this stuff in the future, no matter how far ahead, and all the technology is all there, all the deep faking and stuff like that. Another one with Arnie and Jesse Ventura too, so it was cool to see them together in a different format.
It's definitely a precursor to a lot of these, like the Hunger Games and all these movies like that. I've always thought this is like The Running Man.
This is Running Man, exactly.
What I remember, right? So, and I know they're remaking it, and it sounds like they're remaking it more like what you're saying, with a more like a skinnier person and stuff like that. They're going more of that effect, which we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see if it's any good, but for sure. All right, one I just watched last night, The Last Action Hero. Now, this movie is so clever to me. I mean, it's that meta approach before Scream was even, and it wasn't successful at the time. They released it 1 week after Jurassic Park. Probably not a good idea. I think the studios should have held off on that a bit, but I think it's before its time a bit. And
definitely,
you look at it now, it's so clever. And I didn't like it at the time, but as a 14-year-old kid, to me, it felt like it was just making fun of the movies I love and the action heroes I love. I didn't kind of get the whole meta. It didn't register, but watching it last night or yesterday as a, 46-year-old, mature man now, I'm like, yeah, that kid's me. That kid's me. I can totally put myself in there. And how I escaped into all these action movies and the Stallones and Arnolds and Chuck Norris and all the little homages they do in it, and how all the tropes you see, they're making fun of the tropes, how people show up out of convenience and all this kind of stuff. But it has a Steven Spielberg quality to it too. like where this kid and Arnold are almost like Short Round in Indiana Jones. They
Mm,
have that
mm.
same
Yes,
connection and dynamic that
definitely.
I love. But the last action, I mean, John McTiernan, diehard Predator, bring him in to do the action on this. He's making fun of his own movies. Shane Black's
Yeah.
writing it,
Oh,
who wrote Lethal Weapon. It's just awesome. I just really love this movie.
yeah. I I saw it in the movies, and I remember, I remember liking it because I could see myself in that kid, and when I was a little kid, who wouldn't want to be hanging out with Arnold and doing all this cool action stuff? But I remember it's we watching it, and then people saying afterwards, "Oh, he wasn't successful." And I didn't get it. It didn't register with me because, in my eyes, Arnold was the biggest movie star in the world, which he was at the time, and he was larger than life, and he was indestructible. But I did get it in a sense that we just wanted him to just keep playing the Terminator and keep playing Dutch and keep playing, these things over and over again. So, like, I think when we were given something different, pretty much right after T2, there was a bit jarring, and what you're right, it was ahead of its time. You you get I was the same as you. I didn't understand the kind of taking the piss on the genre thing. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
oh, why is Stallone in the Terminator on this cardboard cutout in the video shop? Like, what's going on with that? And why is it so like convenient and cheesy? I didn't really like it. Didn't register. Anyway, as I got older, did I really understand what the movie was trying to say?
Yeah, it's very, you look at it now, like it should have came out when that 80s action genre was dying. They're getting actors to play the action stars now. And the Stallones and Arnolds were kind of like, yeah, this isn't working no more. That's when you should have
Mm.
released a movie like this. Like that's what I mean. It's before its time, kind of, right?
So there's a documentary I just watched it 2 nights ago called "The Last of the Action Heroes,"
Oh, I saw
and
that one. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
it goes through exactly what you're talking about, and I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. And it's only with someone laying out the timeline and everything that you really understand, like the movies they went in this big peak, and then there was all these stars, and then and then it just went down, and yeah, like so it's kind of, yeah, it's a snapshot of itself. It's almost like the Deadpool of action movies, where it's meta, and it can hold the mirror to itself. It's really crazy.
What's your next one?
Total Recall,
Great movie. I love that one.
great movie. So I saw the preview. I remember I saw this vignette featurette type of thing in a video shop about this, and there was a big Mars pyramid out of foam they built, and it was a huge screen, and I just remember watching it going, oh my God, I can't wait to watch this. And I was a real big fan of I still am, of all the prosthetics and special effects makeup, all the stuff that Stan Winston did, Tom Savini, all the greats.
Rob Bottin won an Oscar for this. It's amazing he didn't win it for The Thing, but he finally got it for this one. And it almost has that, when he opens Quaro,
Ah,
it's almost got that thing kind of. You could tell it's Rob Bottin. You could tell that
yeah, yeah.
he designed all this stuff. He worked on RoboCop as well, so he came in for Total Recall. I believe he won an Oscar for this. I'm pretty sure he
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
So,
I mean,
but it's great. It's a great story. That's the thing. This
yes,
whole story,
yes.
right? And any chance I get to look at Sharon Stone, I'm happy.
Sharon in a prime was easy on the eyes, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it's a great story. It's got all the the arty one-liners, and the character. He was in his peak charisma as well. He just owned every second on screen, and they gave him the right things to do. He had the right, when he was doing action scenes, you believed he could handle business and do it. When he was smashing out one-liners, they were just perfectly timed. But again, there's something about Arnold with all those things, but some good sci-fi as well. And Mars and this whole theme, and not knowing if it's a dream or not. There's so many good nuggets in that story, that in that movie, that make it great. Again, the future technology, like looking at all camera phones and things and thinking, oh wow, I wonder if we'll ever get those.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it was pretty mind-blowing, between the special effects makeup and just the whole story and premise and everything. I just remember watching it and just being totally gobsmacked and just thinking, oh man, I hope they make another one, which they never did. So
No.
but fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's great stuff there. Great stuff. My next one is True Lies. I One of Arnold's most entertaining, I would say. Again, one that never got a freaking sequel, which was
Yep.
really strange. It looked like it was set up for one.
Yep.
But really, James Cameron doing an action comedy, really, with this a marriage breaking apart that comes together at the end through Jamie Lee Curtis and him, and the comic relief between what's his name, Tom
Bill
Arnold,
Paxton. Oh,
Tom Arnold,
Tom
and Bill
yeah.
Paxton. It's just
Yeah, Bill
these
Paxton's
two
great as
guys
well.
are hilarious. I mean, and no one. I mean, the most iconic scene is the whole striptease scene with Jamie Lee and Arnold making her strip her clothes off and stuff like that, and then sends her on this adventure that gets too real. This is what 1994 by this point, and they were still doing some pretty over the top stuff.
Yeah, and
with
I
the,
mean
with the jet fighters
that
and
was
everything.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. The jet fighter at the time was seen as, oh my god, because they got a real jet fighter and they did real things. So yeah, I mean Arnold and James Cameron, you just wish that they never got so rich and just kept doing stuff together. In that, like, because the problem was they get so rich, so important, they just went and did other things, and you just wish they could just stay together forever and just do 100 movies, like it's always good to see them together and doing that stuff. It's great. I watched that one of the movies as well, so it was good.
Yeah, I think it's also his last great movie. If I was to say, like, I liked Eraser. The Last Stand was a lot of fun. He did it back in 2013.
End of Days? Did you watch End of Days?
I hardly remember it, so that's why I'm not talking.
It's okay. And A Collateral Damage is probably my least favorite of his films.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the kind of the time when it dipped, and you just, like, I always wonder, like, if he had just done another Commando, Predator, Terminator in that. I mean, he did Terminator 3, but it wasn't the same without James Cameron, obviously. And then, I always wonder that. I'm like, instead of Eraser, give us Predator 2. Instead of, Collateral Damage, give us Commando 2.
Yeah, that would have been a great time to do another Predator movie, actually.
100%, yeah.
And around the because the mid 90s still had great action. They were still doing, that was like the Van Damme, Seagal era and stuff like that. And if he would have done something like that, even like you said, another Commando or something would have been great, right? But yeah, True Lies. True Lies is fun.
Yeah, no, it's a good time.
All right, your next Arnold movie.
So, speaking of, it's Commando. So Commando is the quintessential action film with all the action tropes, with all the action, with Arnold, just the first time you see him, he's carrying a huge fucking log and he's got a chainsaw, and he just I remember seeing that as a kid, and I got goosebumps. Look, my arm's covered. I just remember seeing that, just wishing that was my dad. When you see him, like, pick his daughter up and throw her in the pool, you're just like, I wish that was my dad. That looks like the most strongest, most invincible guy in the whole world. And then you just see that, like, he's how much he loves his daughter, and that's what people forget about this movie, is like, that's what it's about. It's about a dad that loves their kid so much that he'll chew through like 40 guys to get her back. But I loved how over the top it was. I loved all the one-liners. I love, like, I always say, a good action movie is like an 80s video game where there's different levels, there's different level bosses at the end, and Vernon Wells, what a great bad guy, all the bad guys, all the henchmen, all the different levels.
I prefer Bill Duke. I think he's the best villain in the movie.
Oh, he's amazing. So is Sully as well. I don't forget the actor's name. The guy who plays Sully. He's in the Warriors as well. He's short and he's got no muscles at all, but he's so powerful and he's so commanding and he's so vicious and scary, and he's this little tiny guy. But yeah, Bill Duke is he's definitely scary, and because you've seen him in Predator together and you've seen him be friends, but at this time to see him face off and go for it, it's really good.
It's like a time capsule. You go, what were 80s action movies like? Well, this is basically what this movies like this, Rambo 2, Invasion USA, are your quintessential 80s action with all the nuances and tropes and whatever you have it. It's just, and I really like the way the movies cut together in the sense that like that end fight, every time they throw a punch, there's a cut. So Arnold's going like when he sits there and he goes, "You're a dead man, John." Bullshit. It goes bang, 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 bang. But he's cutting with every punch, so it gives it this music video quality.
Yeah,
Almost like. And the whole movie's like that with James Horner's score, which is underrated, I believe. I
100%.
think it. I
I
think
love
it's a
that
real
score. That is such a great score, that movie.
Yeah, it's a standout score. He's using different soundscapes from like because of the South American
Yes.
vibe to it. He adds all these little nuances into it that I really like. And the island's this made up island.
Yeah.
Where it's I think it was used in Predator.
No, is it Die Hard as well? That's where Die Hard 2. That's where
the bad guy. The bad guy was from
Valverde. Yeah.
And it's the island that the Expendables blow up in the first movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't. I totally missed that. What the fuck? Oh shit.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's why when they're in the church, he's like, "Oh, it's this little island in the Gulf. Only an idiot would take this job." Right? So it's Commando is. It's amazing. Like, I mean, sometimes it's so tough as a movie reviewer sometimes because you're like, I see all the flaws in the movie. I see all the flaws. I get it, but that's not the point. The point is the ride you're going on. The point is
exactly. It's a journey,
right? And like you said, I say this all the time. Why do you guys get rid of montages? They flesh that whole relationship out in a simple montage.
Yes.
And so now the movie, instead of being 2 hours long, it only needs to be 90 minutes long.
And you care about his relationship with his daughter just as much because you see the soft side of him. You see this big, huge dude that you just saw carrying a chainsaw and a log, but then he gets ice cream put on his face and he's, they're out, they're talking about Boy George and girly magazines and, all these things. But then it gives you this emotional weight. I'm a dad now, and watching it now, it makes me even more connected to it because you're like, I would do anything for my kids, So you see the ultimate badass, what he would do, and I just, like I said about the video game, I think all these movies are good. I remember when I used to play like Final Fight or even the Aliens vs Predator game, like a lot of those Capcom side-scrolling games in the arcade as a kid. You'd be going along, you get rid of bad guys, and then you get to this one bad guy at the end, and that's what it really feels like in Commando. It really feels like he's going through these levels to get to, to the final bad guy, and like you said as well, the fight, at the end. We need to, throw away the chicken shit gun, get the knife, put it. You could tell like there's some serious history between these guys that happened off camera as well, where Bennett is traumatized and almost like infatuated with John Matrix, to the point where you don't know if he wants to fight him or fuck him half the time because he's the way he looks at him, he's like, I love you, John, like he's got this obsession with this guy, and they pepper it gently throughout the story where, sometimes he's talking about how he's going to kill him and, do all these horrible things to his daughter. I'm going to kill your daughter and blah, blah, blah. And then other bits, he's telling the other soldiers, me and Matrix could kill all of you, Matrix and me. Like he's talking, you could see that at one time, these guys
were a brotherhood. They were brothers at one time.
Yes.
That's for sure.
And I really wish they made more of them.
The only the thing is they had a different actor who got fired after the first day.
Oh, really?
And that's why Vernon Wells' outfit, that's why he looks so fat. It doesn't fit him. It fit the other guy. And they that's why I go, this guy, he doesn't look like that, like Mad Max and freaking Weird Science. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? And it's around the same time. It's because the fucking shit didn't fit him. Like, it's like, that's why it's all tight around him and he looks like
he looks very believable. But look, he looks believable because he's not a super in shape guy, but he also looks really ridiculous because he's got this chainmail that he's wearing everywhere. And you're like, well, if you had to go, where's the bad guy? You're like, oh, he's that guy there with the chainmail and the Uzi stuck, little mini Uzi stuck to his hip. So, But yeah,
I,
look,
I
it's
got
so
so many
cool.
memories because my father, I'd sit beside my father watching these movies, and he'd go like this to me. He'd pop me like that and pretend he's snapping my neck like the guy in the plane, like that.
You were dead
And
tired.
yeah, and when I was really small, we lived in an apartment with we could go to the pool whenever we wanted.
Yeah.
And I remember him doing that, launching me into the freaking pool like he does Jenny. Like throw me in the pool, which I do to
Yeah,
my
yeah.
kids in the
Yeah,
pool now
same.
too.
I do that to
So
my kids as well.
so
It's
it
fun.
I don't know, it's just identifiable. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And I just love it for that.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie, and like I said, it feels like for something that's supposed to be so over the top and action packed and cheesy, there is a lot of like backstory that they've put through the movie, especially with the other eight guys that get killed at the start. With his bond with Bennett, and just with the amount of training that he obviously has done and the missions he's done to be so formidable. There's so much that happens off screen where they've fleshed out this character in this story to make you believe that this guy could do it. Like he could jump out of a plane into a swamp. He could go and take on 40 guys at once with a couple of guns and a rocket launcher. You believe everything. The bit where he swings the shopping center is some of my favorite stuff.
Oh
He
yeah, he's
swings like Tarzan from the roof, and then he's on top of a elevator. Then he picks up the phone booth. It's so good. It's so good.
It's the way he's mowing through these security guards, man. It's like they're nothing. Like he's just like get out of my way. He's just trying to get and it's the ticking of the clock that's what makes the movie work, I think.
Yes,
because
yes.
he has to do this, and it's like the clock is ticking. It
Yes.
reminds me of you could almost redo Commando, and and I don't know if you watched the show 24 like that.
I've never
If you
watched
want,
24.
well, if you watch 24, it's in real time, so each episode's an hour.
Yeah.
And the first season, Jack Bauer, Kiefer Sutherland has to get his daughter back, and it goes through every hour. But he has to go through if you did Commando in that light where it was serious, if you really wanted to reimagine it, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
It's a classic. It's great.
Yeah.
I've got I'll see if you can see this. I'll flip. I've got. Let's see if I get you this Commando up there. He's on the other side of the room.
Yep. I got my VHS.
Oh, beautiful. I've got one. I've got a statue of Commando that my uncle painted for me for my birthday, a 3D printed one that he found online. He 3D printed it and painted it up. It's in my cabinet as well. It's good times.
Yeah, it's awesome. Very awesome. All right, my last pick is the Terminator, the original Terminator. Now, this is one of my favorite movies of all time, not just action movies or action horror. Behind I'm a Stallone guy first, so Rocky and First
Really?
Blood. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a huge Stallone guy. Rocky and First Blood are my two favorite movies of all time.
Yeah,
but
wow.
Terminator comes in probably at number 3.
Yes.
I just love this movie, and I got to see it on the big screen in the summer in August. They re-released it for its anniversary, or last summer. I mean, for 1984 because it was 40th anniversary.
Yeah, wow.
And it was amazing on the big screen. I finally got to see it on the big screen. It was all enhanced. It doesn't have the original sound or anything. Like the original Terminator, the original VHS, the gunshots are completely different. They're more raw.
I think I noticed that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jimmy Cameron updated everything basically, but it was still a great experience to see the movie on the big screen. But it's just a story, man. It is such a great story. The warnings of AI,
yes,
all the way back then, 1984, where we are now. It's like holy crap. The design of everything and how this whole thing is this slasher style action movie because it plays with the horror tropes too. Sarah Connor's basically a final girl, you know what I mean? But the way it plays with everything is so good, but it's masked as a love story. That's what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, I always it's that flashback scene with Reese when we see him with some downtime.
Yeah.
And for me, he's a guy who's suffering severely with PTSD. And I think the Sarah Connor picture is how he relaxes. It's how he forgets about everything. So when he opens it up, this there's a soothing calmness, and that's how
Yes.
he kind of fell in love with her, so to speak. That's how he fell for in love with her, and I think the thing is, John Connor gives her that picture for that reason. I think, there's a whole story there. Like
Mm.
I'm obsessed with the fact someone should tell a story of, okay, what did John Connor have to do to make his father kind of put the breadcrumbs in to connect him with Sarah. So when he did meet her,
Yeah.
he had those feelings for her. There's a
Yeah.
whole shit thing. There's a whole shitload of stuff there, character building wise, you could do in a movie with still with these two. But yeah, it's perfection to me.
Mm.
I mean, this is scary imagery when I was a kid
Yeah.
that he did. Even when he busts through the door and he shoots the one girl in the head,
Oh, man, it's vicious.
and when he rises out of the fire, all that stuff, or when the Terminator skeleton is in half and he's still coming after her, and that's what she puts him in the press and stuff like that. All that was just terrifying stuff, right?
Yeah.
But the Terminator is just all story. I mean,
Yes.
I still think the effects work. You know what I mean? When they Stan Winston had the idea of making a half endoskeleton,
Mm.
and they put it on a guy, and that's how they did the ending. Someone was walking with it, so they only had half built because
Yeah,
Jimmy Cameron was worried, I don't want to use the stop motion.
Stop motion. Yeah,
He
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want the whole ending to be stop motion. That was and Stan Winston said, no, I got a way around this. We got a way around. We'll shoot it half up, and we'll have someone walking with it, and that's how they got all those endoskeleton effects, because it was something he really made. Right. And I think Salvation really did a good job of showing their third act in that movie,
Definitely.
showing all the endoskeletons. I think the Terminators are throwing people around too much. I think they would just grab you and squeeze your throat, and that's it. But like,
Exactly.
their object is to kill. That's it. Right.
That's right. Yeah.
But what's this movie mean to you?
Man, I remember watching a highly edited version of it that was on TV, and I taped it on a VHS, and I watched it over and over again. And it was another one that was very scary and confronting, but I was such an Arnold fan. I just wanted to see it. I love the cop station shootout. I love when he's repairing with the eye and the hand, like at the arm, sort of the forearm bit.
Moving
it. But I love Michael Biehn. Like, I loved him as Hicks in Aliens, and I love him in this. And I got to meet him when he was out here in Australia, and I was buzzing so hard because I was just, he like you said in that movie, he's got this crazy PTSD, and he is such a fucking good actor. Like, you believe every minute of his intensity. I don't know how he held up that intensity throughout that whole movie. Where
it's one of the great action performances. And I've said this before. I don't think I've done a full video on it, but I say this all the time in my term, is that this guy was Stallone Arnold level. Like, he just didn't go after those, or for whatever reason he never got cast in those, but that's where he should have been.
Yes.
But he decided to take more do more interesting character work, like in Tombstone and all these others, like we played Johnny Ringo in Tombstone, right?
No, great. He was great in that as well.
But I think he could have reached that level of action stardom. Like, he had it, man. You're not going to get a better lead action star than that character. He was amazing, and his intensity always gets me too, especially like when he's got grabbing Sarah by the hair. I go, listen and understand me.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere.
Listen. When he says listen, you're like,
he's on a mission, man. Like, to him, this is a war. The war is on, and this is a mission, right? And he can't fail. And that level of intensity, just amazing, man.
And when you see him perform, he's softly spoken, right?
Yep.
But he's so intense. So he doesn't need to, like, and when he says that, listen, it's one of the rare times he raises his voice if you watch the movie, right? And you really listen to his level of performing. He's always, when he says something, when his voice does go up, he really fucking means it. But you believe the whole time for this kind of skinny, kind of ripped, soft-spoken dude, you believe that he's scary. Like he's very scary, he's very capable, and you realize as well, again, this is about good fleshed out characters, is he has to beat the Terminator with know-how. He's not going to beat it with brawn. He already knows that that's not on the table. He's like, I come from a world where we've got nothing. We're scabbing for food. We're scavenging for weapons. We're just trying to stay alive. Yeah. And so, even now in your time, in 1984, we're only going to beat this thing by, making bombs, getting special weapons, being cautious, playing this cat and mouse game. But it's just such a phenomenal movie. The score's crazy. Brad Fiedel just nailed that. Arnold is just so fucking intimidating. He's got 8 or 9 lines in the whole movie, and then you believe it. You believe everybody in that movie. Like Linda Hamilton is going through this evolutionary process that's going to make her the person she's in T2. Yeah, and it all makes sense when you watch those two movies back to back as well. Is like you're like, wow, this really is an arc, But I love the movie, man. I had so one of my friend's dads worked in a video shop, and he got me a cardboard cutout of the Terminator game that came out. So I had this kind of waist up Arnie with the 45 long slide with the laser sighting. Oh, speaking of the gun shop scene, like what a cool fucking scene, me and one of my friends, Matt, his name's Matt the Jackal. He's like a big DJ here in Sydney. We always talk about the phase plasma rifle with the 40-watt range. We're like, what was that?
Was it glitch in the system?
Yeah, it was just but we always talk about that. But just him going through the guns and it's just so cool. There's so many good bits.
I obsess over this movie, and it's probably, if I was to make a fan film, this is the property I'd want to. I think a really cool way to take Terminator would be all these little John Connor's little bases underground and stuff. If a Terminator was in there, but you didn't know he was there, and you make it like Friday the 13th, where you see only a POV, so you don't know who the Terminator is. So it's a guessing game. Yeah, so that's another idea. Like I think studios, me and my buddy come up with 4 or 5 ideas that would work, and you're like, you can't get this right.
Yeah, we do this all the time. Like me and my buddy Riley, we do a lot of rural trips in rural Australia. So we're going to the country in the outback, and we'll go on a 5 and 6 hour drive to do work, and then we'll come back to the city. And when we're on those drives, he likes all the same stuff that me and you do, and we'll go through these franchises, and we'll literally we'll talk about, okay, what would you do with Aliens vs Predator, and then we just, between us, we come up with this story where we're like, shut up and take my money. Like, why isn't anyone doing this? I don't get it. It's the same with Terminator. Like, I think at this point, like what I would do personally and what we want to do, if we were given all the money in the world and all the access and everything, is make another TV show, but movie quality with all the effects that we've got now. Because it's one thing about Sarah Connor Chronicles is that the special effects it does show when you watch it now. So if you could do that again, but expand on the story, and it's a good thing that the anime did, was expand on the story, and exactly what you're talking about right now. I'm instantly seeing that in my head and imagining it, and it's interesting. I want to see what the movie you're talking about, because I feel like the world is so rich, the characters are so rich, but we never got enough.
Well, there's I have several ideas. I just don't think they'd mesh all together in the same movie, but maybe they would. But yeah, me and my buddy talk all the time. Like, you could do a 20-minute short film of a Friday the 13th condensed, and then who is the Terminator?
Look around you and look around me. Like, we obviously immerse ourselves in the things we love. Like, I've got movies all over the roof. I've got all my music stuff around me, and I could show you more, but the studio's in a bit of a tatters at the moment because I'm renovating it. But so there is a lot of validation in our ideas, because we have lived with this stuff for 30 and 40 years, is where you get someone just from a studio that wants to make money, I think they're very short-sighted if they disregard the fans. And I think a lot of the bombs that we've seen at the box office, you know, you kind of get it was like superhero movies. There was a time when superhero movies were just total dog shit, but we didn't care because we just were happy to get them, you know. And then we realize, but then after a while, they start milking them, and it's like even these franchises. There's been good Alien movies, there's been bad ones, there's been good Predator movies, there's been bad ones, there's been good, you know, Terminator ones. Like there is nuggets of goodness even in the bad ones, but you kind of say to yourself, if they just got some really diehard fans in there, you know, just a focus group of guys like us, it'd be really hard to miss, because at the end of the day, we're the guys with the money to buy the movie ticket. We're the guys that are going to buy the merch. We're going to buy the action figures. We're going to buy all the things that are going to make the thing successful again. And then then if our kids are old enough, we're going to take them to watch it. We're going to show them, we're going to introduce them, and it lives on, lives on, lives on. Yeah. I wanted to ask you, what are your top 5 movies of all time? This is the question I like to ask people.
The top 5 movies of all time?
No top 10. It has to be top 5 because it's harder.
Rocky 1.
Yep.
My favorite. Then First Blood. First Blood means so much to me because I've always been a loner, introverted. I remember being picked on in public school and stuff like that. But I would go home, watch First Blood, and when he's kicking all these people's asses, it was just like a channel, because I would be doing it the next day. I'd be fighting, and I didn't want to be like that. So Rambo kicks ass, and he was being picked on. To me, I looked at a guy being picked on like me. So it means so much to me, this movie. Terminator 1.
Yep.
Then Predator. Aliens, number 5. Those are my top 5.
Nice.
Those, I'm obsessed with I'm a diehard Rocky fan, Stallone fan, and I do like Stallone a little more than Arnold, but Arnold made some big movies that are just undeniable.
Yeah.
But those are my favorite. And a lot of people who follow the channel, they know I'm just a big Stallone guy. I'm a big horror guy too, though. I love Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
I like Nightmare on Elm Street. Right? Yeah. But I love those movies. What about you? Top 5 movies?
Okay, so Aliens.
Yeah.
So we've got one in common. T2, which is the mirror version of you like T1, I like T2. So The Crow, and I've got
great movie.
I've got Crow stuff everywhere. I love The Crow.
That's top 20 for me, just so you know.
That's okay. I'm gonna have to flip around again and show you another one. Stand By Me.
Another great movie. I love that one.
Stand By Me. So you know, you said your dad rented Predator. Was it Predator every week?
Yeah.
So that's what I rented every week when I was like, my memories of my mum and dad and me going to the video shop was me renting that film. So my mum would look at me and go, again, you know, you get it, like, how many times are you gonna watch these 4 boys walk on the train tracks? And so, but like, that's a big movie for my adolescence. So it's Aliens, T2, The Crow, and then there's Fight Club. Fight Club I just think is the cleverest of clever movies. It's
one I never really liked, but
really,
in my defense, I watched it as a teenager, and maybe I just didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched it since then, so I definitely got to rewatch some of these movies that didn't jive with me then, for sure.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people love it, and I like David Fincher. It's David Fincher, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I like David.
It's like
Fincher,
a perfect adaptation of the book too, so it's really spot on.
But those are good. Those are good fun.
They're my 5. So it's Stand By Me, Fight Club, The Crow, Aliens, T2. They're my top 5 of all time. They're the ones I've watched the most in my life. They've had the biggest impact on me. The ones I couldn't stop thinking about. You know, and like a top 10's easy. A top 10 movies is really easy, but a top 5 I think is hard. I don't put any excuse me. I don't put any Tarantino movies in there because I think he's got his own bracket. But I love Tarantino films as well. Like
what about your, let's say, the last 20 years? favorite modern movie?
I mean, Tarantino straight away. So Django,
Okay.
definitely. I love Django. Like if I start Django, I have to like that's it. I have to go through. Like The Matrix. I don't know how
Oh,
old The Matrix is
well, that's
now.
1999. That's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's. I mean, it's probably a bit older. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I didn't like. I didn't. Not that I didn't like it. I didn't get it the first time I watched it, and then the more and more I watched it, the more and more I loved it. 300.
that's a good one.
300 is like whenever I'm feeling low and kind of like I've been kind of beat up by life, and a few things haven't gone my way, and I'm kind of licking my wounds and feeling sorry for myself. I go watch that movie and I come back to life. And like I mean, I love all the gangster movies. I love Goodfellas, Casino. I love all those things. I think more modern ones though, Logan.
That was a good one.
Logan is my if for as far as superhero movies go, it's definitely one of my top favorites. The Deadpool movies, I love all the Deadpool movies. Like they're really cool. Just thinking what else I've watched. I mean, I'm probably saying stuff that's already pretty old, but yeah. Look at the roof.
I am a huge Apes fan. Planet
Yes, the Apes movies are great.
Dawn of the Apes is probably my favorite movie from the last 20 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
Like if I love Dawn of the Apes. I like Master and Commander with Russell Crowe.
Yeah,
I think that's
Rusty's always good.
Yeah, that's a really good film too. But yeah, because I know I like a lot of old stuff. That's why the channel's called Backtrack Cinema. But
yeah,
I tell people I do like modern stuff and everything. It's just that I just find their rewatchability in the last 5 years is not there as much. I like Sicario. I absolutely love that movie.
They're cool films. I was gonna say, are you a Big Trouble in Little China fan?
Oh yeah, big. Yeah, you want to talk about video game? That reminds me of a video game.
Yes,
the whole movie.
Exactly. It's levels. There's levels and different.
Like the street fight and everything like that.
Yes. The Chang Seng and the Wing Kong at the start.
Yeah. That street fight is one of the best I've seen. Right, and it's kind of like a video game, especially when the bosses come. They come out of the fucking sky. And shit. It's like,
it is exactly like that 80s video game feel.
It's what's that one they made? Streets of Rage. That's what.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, man, it was. Well, Aaron, this was a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun getting together with you. Finally, send my best to the crew of Terminator and all that. I'm assuming they're all friends of yours, so.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them I didn't know till the night, but we obviously became close, and me and Karen are, we're like this, and he's doing some really cool shit at the moment too. So you'll probably see his name pop up sooner than you think with something else.
Oh, cool. Because I dug that movie. I've been telling people about it.
I've got to say to you, bro. Like, so when I saw your review, because Karen sent it to me, and you complimented me as the Terminator, I've got goosebumps again. It was one of the most validating moments of my whole life, because I've lived and breathed and loved Terminator, and it means so much to me. Like like I said, that father-son thing to my childhood. And when you said, great job, the way you were complimenting me doing the role, I got to say, man, it's one of the most like validating things I've ever seen about myself in my whole life. So thank you. You gave me a great boost to confidence and self-esteem,
Well, they've got it wrong for so many times. Like the way a Terminator should walk and act, and I thought you obviously you were directed well too, but I thought you guys understood. Like T3 annoys the fuck out of me. I hate that movie. I hate it with a passion, actually. It's just this whole idea of the way this thing will not throw you around. It will not mess with you. It's just going to kill you. It's just going to come after the target. And the way you have nothing. You don't have a weapon. You just start driving this girl into the pavement. And I'm just like, man, they get it. These people get it. Or if it would grab your throat and squeeze and rip your throat out. Like it doesn't need a weapon really.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's one guy in the hall that I just punched him straight through the
Yeah,
back
through
of
the body,
you know.
right? And then
Yeah.
the other, that was a really cool effect. But yeah, but I've been telling people, I tell people about, go check this out. But
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I'll plug it more and do I'll talk to the director and they say I want to do a live watch along. Can I show it on screen? That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you for coming on,
Nah,
buddy, and
thank you, man. Thank you.
collaborating on all that. I had a lot of fun. And everyone, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, like the video, go check out the Terminator film. I'm going to put all links in the description below. And this was fun talking Arnold and all that stuff and all filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. So you guys all have a good night, and I'll see you next time. You're watching Backtrack Cinema. My name is Jason. I'll see you in the movies. Cheers.